No, he was after me, and let me conclude and say, Honorable Speaker, we must monitor budget performance. We appropriate, but Treasury does not disburse the money. At the end of the year, what we are supposed to have done is not done. The budget becomes a consumption budget, not a productive budget, and that's why you find our economy has stalled, is not expanding. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members are advised to read the report of the committee together with the budget estimates under the schedule. The voluminous thing, I think most members normally focus on the summarized report, but this one is a bit more specific. The Honorable Kiari John.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. And I also must thank the Honorable Samuel Atandi and congratulate him for preparing his maiden budget, and in the same breath congratulate his committee, which has judiciously combed through this budget and even had time to listen in on the sector proposals. And I must say that this year it has been a bit different, because we can see that this report that he presents to the House is true to the submissions that were made by the different committees before his committee. Mr. Speaker, also allow me to appreciate the tireless work that was done by the Chair Emeritus, the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, who is also a member of this committee, and I want to believe that he was also part of the team that was burning midnight oil to ensure that this gets to us in time. Mr. Speaker, the work done here, we can see that the committee was very keen to move in the direction of austerity. And they were doing this while balancing very many competing interests. And Mr. Speaker, what they have done for the year 25-26 starts us off on a good trajectory towards where we would want Kenya to go, and especially being true to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. And Mr. Speaker, I want to speak this from the bottom of my heart, that the generation of members of parliament in the 13th parliament will one day look back and they shall be extremely proud that they were part of the team that made extremely difficult decisions when Kenya needed decisions to be made, at a time when Kenya could not continue kicking the can down the road, because some of the things that the Honorable Samuel Atandi and his committee are funding in this report are things that Kenya has always wanted to do. Mr. Speaker, not a single presidential candidate has vied in any election in this country and never mentioned the issue of housing. Every time they put it in their manifesto, every time they tried to implement it, because of populist politics, they shied off. But this time around, Mr. Speaker, this is a generation of leaders who have decided to take the bull by the horns, and we are seeing the results, Mr. Speaker. In just 1 year of funding this program called the Affordable Housing Program, we in Nairobi are seeing the benefit of it. Mr. Speaker, words cannot explain what we saw in Mukuru when individuals who would never have dreamt to be in a house that has what we take to be basic amenities, sinks that have running water, toilets that are inside their house, and all these other things that we take for granted. These people who had never imagined that they could live in a stone-walled house were receiving their keys thanks to the decisions that are being made by the generation of leaders this time. Mr. Speaker, in Dagoretti South constituency, we are waiting. Coming out of this budget that is presented by Honorable Sam Atandi, we are expecting to see the biggest infrastructural drive in the history of our constituency, Mr. Speaker. Seeing the coming up of affordable housing projects in Gashui, seeing the affordable housing, constructing houses in Reruta, the markets that have broken ground in Reruta, the markets that are coming up to break ground in Waithaka and in Gashui. Mr. Speaker, these decisions that need to be made must be made by people who know that you do not have to always be popular, because sometimes in leadership you have to make very tough decisions and history shall vindicate you. We have seen it in the case of the Honorable President Emeritus Mwai Kibaki. When he was making the hard and tough decisions, and especially in the coalition government with the Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, we will remember we were old enough when Kenyans were shouting them down, saying that Kibaki and Raila do not love Kikuyus. They are demolishing the houses of Kikuyus. But the moment Thika Road came up, the moment the bypasses became operational, today everybody is saying that Kibaki must have been the best president Kenya had. Because at a time of reform, at a time of building, it might be painful, but the benefits that accrue out of it go into posterity. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Samatandi is helping us fund here the university funding model. Mr. Speaker, you remember when the Honorable Mwai Kibaki attempted to say that there is free primary education, some people were shouting him down. They were saying Kibaki is not giving us masomo ya bure. He is giving us masomo bure. And people were saying it is not possible to admit all those children into primary schools and give them quality education. Today, we are seeing the result of it. So, Honorable Speaker, I do see the work that has been put in by the Committee on Budget and Appropriations, moving us towards the realization of dreams that Kenya has had as aspirations since the inception of country. Mr. Speaker, I did take note of an observation made by the committee in regard of revenue mobilization. And Mr. Speaker, this cannot be taken lightly. When the committee makes a recommendation that KRA has to better its ways of mobilizing revenue. And Mr. Speaker, in this age of technology, KRA can be more innovative, more creative. I am seeing what is happening in Malawi, Mr. Speaker, where their revenue authority is undertaking a lottery that invites people to enter a lottery with their ETR receipts, which is really bringing up the issue of compliance among the taxpayers, Mr. Speaker, to a place where they are able to improve on revenue collection. KRA attempted that, went the wrong way about it. Because when it comes to some of these things, you have to depend on experts to get it right, Mr. Speaker. This issue of revenue mobilization, Mr. Speaker, speaks also to the recommendation, to the observation made by the committee on the management, the mobilization, and the utilization of A&A within government institutions. And Mr. Speaker, the observation made by the committee must be followed with a recommendation that this committee sees through. Because the way that A&A is mobilized, the way A&A is utilized within government agencies, if that was streamlined, we would be able to comfortably raise in excess of over $500 billion just from in A&A, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, these budget estimates that as presented by the committee are also speaking to issues in the sector that I am superintending over. Mr. Speaker, I chair the Committee on Communication, Information and Innovation. And the budget policy statement did note and identify that the creative economy and the digital economy are offer great opportunities for work, engagement, and also money raising for the youth in this country. And Mr. Speaker, that is why you will find that in this budget, we have been able to allocate in excess of 16 billion Kenya shillings to the State Department of ICT and the digital economy. We have also been able to allocate 6 billion, in excess of 6 billion, to the State Department of Broadcasting and Telecommunication. Mr. Speaker, with this in our sector, we aim to be able to develop the ICT infrastructure by rolling out in excess of 35,000 kilometers of fiber, providing internet connectivity to over 43,000 institutions, schools, hospitals, government offices. And Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking this at a time when it must be noted in this House that connectivity now is not just a mere utility. Connectivity today, Mr. Speaker, is a matter of life and death. There are some systems that are depending on connectivity in the civic areas, even in security areas, in the military, and even for operations to happen, Mr. Speaker, this connectivity speaks to development of our country and even being able to raise revenue, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we noted when we were doing this budget making process, Mr. Speaker, the final thing that I wanted to mention is that we noted that the persistent budget cuts and the inadequate allocations are leading to delay in very major capital projects, Mr. Speaker. And I do pray that the committee led by Honorable Sam Atandi, he himself, a financial mind of great repute, is going to be vigilant to the extent that this budget shall be implemented as passed by this House. So that, Mr. Speaker, we do not run into the situation where, after we pass such a good budget, we end up in situations where we have exchequer problems, or even worse, come back to the House with a supplementary budget that negates very important things that were passed in the main budget. Mr. Speaker, with those points, I know I have much I would have wanted to say about our sector, but with those few points, Mr. Speaker, allow me to support this report on the consideration of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for financial year 2025-2026 and commend the new chair and his committee for a great job well done. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Martin Owino, MP from Dewa, will now be heard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to fully support this budget estimate for the year 25-26. And I want to congratulate the chair, as he moves out there, for the work well done. Mr. Speaker, reducing the fiscal deficit by 0.7 is not an easy task. And I want to ask them to put the foot on the pedal, on the gas pedal, because it's the right trajectory. Mr. Speaker, I want to just pick few items here because majority has been spoken here. I don't want to repeat. But the sugar sector reforms, 2 billion. We come from the sugar growing area. I think this is a good thing to do. I just ask that it should be oversighted well as the leases go on. Most of this should pay the debts which are there. The leases should not take over these factories with people's debt and don't pay. And I want to appeal to the farmers who are boycotting taking sugar because they want their pay. This has been factored in, so please cooperate. The other issue, Mr. Speaker, is the affordable housing. To us, it is different. In our rural setting, it is different from the town setting. Because affordable housing here, as visioned by the President, is about food security. You can remember, Mr. Speaker, if Carrier has five children and they grow up and you only have 5 acres of land, one takes 1 acre, another one like that, you have nowhere to grow. So affordable housing in rural setting will space out more acres for food production, and I call that food security. And I thank the President for that. Actually, if you fly over our areas, you will see all sorts of houses spread all over, and people have nowhere to farm. So this was a great thing, and Mr. Speaker, 95 billion put to it, I think, and I know Ndewa is included.
And I want to thank the President for that. And if I don't go far, allow me to thank the President for visiting our constituency. For the first time, we received a President with development agenda. And so we have Gor Mahia Ring Road going to connect all the 7 wards. This budget is fair and is equitable. And that's why we are commending this committee. The issue of TVET, the President came and launched in a rural setting. I really say kudos to him because he follows the vision and makes sure things are done. TVET, or skilled training, is the way to go for our children. And this committee put 43.2 billion so that these kids can be skilled and even self-employ themselves. Because the issue of white-collar jobs is gone. So I know the budget chair is telling me the time, but this is passionate to me, as the issue of TVET. The primary healthcare fund, Dr. Nyikal talked about this very well, and the SHA. I want to talk to the public who may be watching this. Don't be fooled that SHA does not work. Those who spread that rumor actually have registered. And if you register and we pump in this money to our primary healthcare facilities, it will increase the availability of medicine, the diagnostic equipment, and the personnel. And that this, to me, Chair, will arrest the disease progression due to poor management of these diseases. The cases which are isolated, like Oundo mentioned, those can be handled differently. But the general picture is that SHA works. And we have testimony from many people whose bills are cleared. The issue of education. Mr. Speaker, in my constituency, I still have teacher ratio 1:80. When this is being implemented, I think affirmative action should take place so that those areas with huge teacher-student ratio can be considered. I want to thank the committee about the blue economy, 5 billion. Our people depend on the lake, and it has been underutilized for a long time. I hope this will help improve the livelihood of our people. Power connectivity, in Ndewa specifically, the power connection is under 6%. In other areas, 95 to 100. So even if we put this 63.4 billion, we ask the ministry to use affirmative action. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, budget cannot be beneficial to the public if the exchequer release is as low as 60-65%. And we appeal to the Treasury. We can mention all this type of money, but if you only release a bit of it, and we are in program-based itemized budget, it does not realize the goals. The issue of equalization fund, I don't know, Mr. Speaker, who oversight this. Because we appropriate it here, but we don't see what it does wherever they go. That should be looked into. But in overall, I think this is a good budget. Thank you, Honorable Atandi and your team. Let us remain as a house to oversight this, because if we don't have good implementation, and it will be like a whitewash. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield and I support this budget.
Take 2 minutes. Take 2 minutes.
Honorable members, you are notified that this motion has 3 allotted days. We are on the second day allotted for the motion following the pronouncement I made a short while back, about 1.5 hours ago. So don't worry about reply. It being a 3 allotted day motion means the mover cannot reply today. The earliest the mover will be on the 3rd day, which in all likelihood, time having not been extended, will be tomorrow. The Honorable Japhet Nyakundi will therefore be heard.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. for giving me this opportunity to also put my word on this budget for 2025-2026. First of all, I want to thank the chairman of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, Honorable Samuel Equity Atandi. And I call him Honorable Samuel Equity Atandi because of the good job that he has done to make sure that every part of this country gets an equal share of this budget. This is a budget of about 4.23 trillion Kenya shillings, and my eyes have been drawn to more especially the space that the money he has put in to make sure that our young men and women of this country get an employment, more especially in the education sector, where we are having about 4.5 billion Kenya shillings that has been put aside to make sure that the young people have been taken as interns, cognizant to the fact that this is the first time this country has been able to employ over 6,000 teachers, so that to be able to bridge the gap between the teacher and the student ratio. Same case to the security sector, where they have put about 2 billion to recruit the KDF, to recruit the young men and women. And you also know for the last 3 years, as a country, we've not recruited any young people in the police force. And this time round, money has been put in the budget to be able to recruit the young men and women, about 10,000 of them in the police force. This clearly shows that this administration under President William Ruto is ready and willing to make sure that the young people are given job opportunities so that they can be able, one, to serve this country, and number two, to be able to also get a living or earn a living out of that. The UHC has been a thorn in the eye. The young men and women have been operating under some weird circumstances. They've been striking each and every single day. We've been seeing them out of parliament. And as we speak here today, I am a happy man being in the Budget and Appropriations Committee and assuring that the young people that we have put in about 6 billion to make sure that the young people are taken under permanent and pensionable basis, so that they can earn a good living, they can earn some good money, they can contribute to this country. So I want to appreciate the good job that they have done. I also want to appreciate because on the Ajira sector, they've managed to put some money so that the young people who are there can be taken under permanent and pensionable basis. Also 1,000 youths in the Ajira sector who are not on permanent and pensionable basis. So this budget, as I look at it, is a budget that considers the young people of this country, is a budget that will be able to move this country forward. Another thing that has been of joy to me is the fertilizer subsidy. As you know, for the last two years, since we say that we are going to subsidize production and not consumption, we've seen a lot of changes in this country. In terms of agriculture, right now you've seen coffee has improved from about 50 shillings to about 140, 150 shillings. The sugar sector, as a country, we used to import a lot of sugar from other countries. As we speak today, last year, as a country, we never imported even 1 ton of sugar. As years goes by, I want to assure our neighbors that they'll be buying sugar from Kenya, which is a very good thing. So I want to say that this budget is a budget that has a lot of equity, is a budget that will be able to move this country forward, and is a budget that I am sure will bring a lot of changes in this country. I want to thank you, Honorable Speaker, for that opportunity, and I support this bill.
The Honorable Naomi Wako. In the meantime, would the Chair, Budget and Appropriations Committee approach the Speaker?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to add my voice to this very important motion on consideration of the budget estimate 2025-2026. Honorable Speaker, much has been said, and before I proceed, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the Chair for his commitment, together with the committee, and for coming up with such a good, progressive budget that gives Kenyans a lot of hope. Honorable Speaker, I don't want also to forget the past years that Honorable Ndindi Nyoro led this committee, and for the great work they did while he was serving us as the chair. Honorable Speaker, because of time, I will move very quickly, and I want to just highlight on different areas that this budget has given attention. Education, that has been given 700 billion, and parents who have been assured of examination fees and all these others, the examination that has been catered for, and also giving hope to our education system, which clearly shows that this government cares about the future of this country and of our young people. Honorable Speaker, another critical area that I want to touch on is on the matter of IDs, identification and distribution of IDs. And Honorable Speaker, many years ago, we have been, especially those of us who come from Northern Kenya, have been marginalized because of vetting. And today we have some people, some elderly people who are 80 years old, whose children have been educated, their sons and daughters working in government offices, but they have all been denied identity cards. But today, I want to appreciate the effort of our president, who has given this a lot of attention. And for sure, we are happy because he has said we do away with the vetting. And as a result of that, today, many people are registering for their identity cards. And it is my prayer that this process will smoothly go on because of now the allocation of the budget that we have put there, 1.4 billion, may not be enough because of the demand that is there, but it will help us. And as we do this, I pray that the issue of mobility, the issue of having enough personnel, because right now they do not have enough personnel, will be put into consideration so that they can run this process smoothly and effectively. Honorable Speaker, again, the issue of operationalization of administrative units that has been given 600 million, which is good but not enough. And I pray that more units, more administrative units will be created, the areas that have been neglected in the past, so that we can get services, we can take services closer to the people. Another critical area that has been considered is agriculture, health, and we know that many people have suffered in the past because of health issues, and with the budget that we have allocated, I'm sure we'll be able to take care of our people. Honorable Speaker, allocation to the county government, the 4.5 billion is a good thing, and we are progressing. And in addition to that, there is what we call this amount, there is what we call equitable share from the national raised revenue, which is 4 or 5 billion, and then this amount excludes additional allocation, both conditional and unconditional, which again amounts to 69.8 billion. What I want to say is, yes, devolution has done a lot of good, and many people have been employed, many families sustained, great opportunities there. People are getting contracts, but again, we have challenges because of unpaid bills, the pending bills. And we must urge our counties to pay the pending bills, to pay the salaries on time, and also to make sure that they are good stewards of the resources that are there. Honorable Speaker, many people speak of ghost workers in county and even at the national level. We should get rid of the ghost workers so that we can be accountable and we can also make good use of the resources that God has placed in our hands. Again, as we talk of the contracts at the county levels, Honorable Speaker, we must put a lot of attention on the special groups because most of the time they are denied the opportunity. They register, but other big men or cartels do the business on their behalf. So if we can push the county governments to give attention to special groups, people living with disability, youth, and women, then this country for sure will progress. Honorable Speaker, this budget is giving a lot of hope to Kenyans. And as the government has allocated 8 billion for the continuity of the fertilizer, that has given us good production in terms of maize and other produce. Again, 2 billion to coffee cherry, but I want to insist on the support to coffee farmers and 2 billion, yes, additional over 5 billion has been allocated to support the dairy and livestock sector. Honorable Speaker, I just want to urge our government, the 5 billion may not be enough because we have so many pastoralists and most of the time we lose our animals during the drought. We need to be to give insurance to our animals and also come up with ways so that the livestock and dairy products can also be well taken care of. Honorable Speaker, this is a forward-looking budget giving a lot of hope because of even the money that we have placed in primary health care, about 10 billion, where HIV, AIDS, positive people, the TB, malaria, and other sicknesses are well catered for. Again, Honorable Speaker, 16.6 billion for UHC coordination and 10 billion towards support to the national immunization effort. Few weeks ago, as women leaders, we met and we were presented with the challenge of immunization that our young babies are facing as a result of the funding that has been stopped. But now that this has been catered for, then we are sure that at least this process will continue and we will have a healthy society. My only request is please give attention to the people who live in the rural areas so that they will also have the same benefits as the people living in urban areas and in the cities. Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I support and I pray that Kenyans will grow through this.
Honorable Dr. Naomi Wako, just before you conclude, there is the famous road the president has been proposing for the north. The one going through. Tell us something about it. Don't worry about time as the leader of the house, and because you've sat for very long,
yes,
we'll allow you time to tell us about how developments in your region have been catered for.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As I said before, for many years, we have been saying that we have been marginalized and neglected, and we do not have enough roads, enough, hospitals, the health cares, the health areas, and even the education, sector has suffered because we do not have good infrastructure in place. Honorable Speaker, I must say that as people from northern Kenya, we are grateful to our president who is considerate enough and who has considered that particular road all the way from Isiolo to Mandera, Wajir, whatever it is. Because before that, nobody cared about us. And it is my prayer that he will consider more. And in fact, I want to urge our president to continue with the same spirit. The naysayers, let them continue saying what they are saying. But the country is already progressing. SHA is already working. Our people are going to the hospitals and giving their testimonies. Some months ago, many people were condemning our government and our president in particular. The housing, the many houses that we are building, the people who have already benefited, the slums in this country, Honorable Speaker, we must give a lot of attention to that and make sure that we do away with the slums in this country. So as we build roads, as we develop, because by building the roads, we are taking development to those areas. And we are also encouraging those people in those areas to invest in their own areas and grow their own counties and areas. I want to say that yes, this government is focused. We will be criticized, but we are focused enough, and our president is forward-looking. And by the time we finish the 10 years, I'm sure Kenyans will say, yes, we had a responsible government in place. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members, and for the members who have stayed up to this, accept the appreciation of the Speaker. This is possibly one of the most serious roles of the National Assembly, budgeting. And it's very good to see that we sit up to this late to confirm that the budget estimates accord with the development focus of the broad-based government administration currently in place. Honorable members, be upstanding. The time being 8 or 9:00 p.m., this House stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, the 5th day of June 2025 at 2:30 p.m.